If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
So let's get started first. What is we are going to cover in this particular module? Let me just pull down this particular slideshow. I don't go by the slideshow a lot. I just go by the main content and main items which we're gonna learn. All right. So basically, we would start from absence overview. Then, what is the basic difference between a time of an absence, leave of absence, time of plan overview. We would create a lot of time of plans, every constitute of time of plan and its importance. Then calculations, what the calculations are signified, how calculations are important. We would learn about what is the difference between period started and period ended, how it is important to include your calculations corresponding to this particular period started and period ended. Okay, eligibility part, everything regarding accrual and all right. This agenda is actually the way they have mentioned the points are actually mixed match, so we will not go by that, but yeah, we would touch every point over here. All right, so once our time of plans are done, all right, every aspect of time of plans are done, then we would move to the another part, that is leave of absence. And I'll tell you about, so including that, I'll give you some of the tasks, what to do, what not to do every day. Like today itself, I'll give you some of the tasks. All right, so that you are also keeping in pace with me, right? And before my last day, I'll give you some of the, I'll give you an exam. All right, so be prepared for that. Okay. So yeah, all right. So this is my kind of a training is like free willing talk, everything you can ask regarding industry standards, how to do it, and all those stuff. So that is, rest assured, you can ask question at any given point of time. Although I'll be asking you a lot of time, like if you have a questions or not. Okay. So let's quickly go to my tenant. All right. So since we are talking about absence management and it is one of the core module which is used in every section of Workday. All right, it is used in many of the section of Workday. And I'll tell you what are the modules that it gets connected. The first thing, it is very important in respect to the finance. Okay, why it is important to the finance? Because finance keeps updating their books in terms of employee liability, like employee leave balances, right? The finance shows some of the balances, like you got hired, I'm a full-time employee. So what happens that we get certain benefits. Okay, certain benefits in terms of like previous paid leave. Right? So every day it comes, every month we get some of the balances, or in United States or Canada, they get bi-weekly some balances. So what happens? The balances that we are getting, so company is liable to have that sum of amount of money into their accounts, so that even if we leave the company, so from that particular account, the company would be able to give us some the balance. Okay, so that is particularly a liability, and there is a very much use of a ledger account. All right, so company keeps on updating the books and books and books, and how to track it, where to track it, it is basically from our ERP system, that is Workday. Okay, so we have liabilities reporting. All right, all those parts in Workday, liability reporting, accrual reporting, which holds the value and it is shared with the finance team all the time via reporting. Or if you have Workday Finance in subscribed to in Workday, all right, if you have enabled Workday Finance, then automatically that is connected to our Workday Finance. If we are not, then via like external vendors such as companies such as audit companies such as EY, Deloitte. These are like big audit companies who keeps on updating their ledger accounts and all. They get report from Workday by integration CCW, and they keep on updating those things. Okay, so you understand this point that finance is very important in terms of absence management. Okay, in order to keep track of the liability. This particular piece is known as time of liabilities. Okay.
Yeah.
So finance is used. All right. Then second part is compensation also. It is also used in compensation. Absence management is getting tracked through our compensation also. How? Like if you're taking paid leave, how the pointer would be knowing that okay, it is a paid leave, so we should give him salary on a regular basis rather than deducting something. Okay. So it is used in compensation where we use our calculations of absence in our compensation or payroll part. Okay. Compensation basically the payroll part. Okay. If it is aware or not. Then it is used in our time tracking also. Like it absence and time tracking have a very good combination in terms of I'll tell you that if I am getting, for example, if I'm working on a holiday, okay, it's a very basic answer like compensation day. You are comp off in other countries they say it as comp off. Like if you are working on a holiday, either you take some money, extra money into your account, or you get a extra day. All right. But in order to do that, you have to enter the time. So there is the interaction of time tracking and absence. So basically, it's a very vast module, okay, and it has a like every company, all right, has an absence management tool, whether it is Workday or PeopleSoft, Oracle or SAP, they have it, okay, and it is a core part. HCM is the mother, and after HCM's favorite child is absence management, okay, and time tracking, all right. So that's the key portion of this particular module. Now, when we talk about absence management, we talk about time off and leave of absence. Okay. Always remember time off and leave of absence. And there would be a question that why these two things? Why cannot we have only absence management? Correct. There must be a question like I got this question when I was interviewing for one of the customer. So they asked me a simple question. The first question that they asked me like, why can't we say this absence management? Why it is necessary to bifurcate into two parts, time off and absence, leave of absence.
Right.
Right. It's a basic question that they asked, and I was actually fumbled at that point of time. I got fumbled, like what to answer. All right. So I gave a very straightforward answer that absence management is the book. All right. And time off and leave of absence are the chapters. Like a simple example. I gave it like that. I wanted to make an impression that okay. But reality is that yes, absence management is the book and it is like I would say it is like the encyclopedia, and inside that there are constitutes like time off and leave of absence. Okay. The moment I gave this answer, I got a counter question. What do you mean by time off and leave of absence?
Correct.
All right. Counter question was there, and I knew that it would be there. Okay. And it is an interview question, even if you are right now in your current company, or if you would move to a next company, then into this particular role of time and absence solution consultant or something, they would ask you, why time off and leave of absence? What is the difference? Okay. So this is the bang on answer that you give. All right. It will create a great impression that time off is for limited period. Okay.
Right.
Time off is for limited period, where the leave of absence can go for infinity period.
Okay? Yeah, extended period, right.
Infinity. If they ask you, how would you elaborate this? So there is a certain way, I'll tell you. Like time off is like, your worker would come on this particular day. If he has taken vacation, he would come on this particular day, else loss of pay would happen. Okay. For example, vacation. I have taken 3 days, which means on 4th day I will be in the office. Okay. So this is particular where there is a traceability of your time off, and there is like guarantee that you're coming back on that particular day after a particular day comes under the time off plan, where there is a limited period of time. Okay. And there is a traceability and a person can like your authority can track that, okay, this is something I can deduct something or do something, this is time off. Whether in leave of absence you give a estimated date that I may come after 3 months, okay, with a date also, okay, that I'll come after 3 months, 15th of, like for example, today is July, after 3 months, July, September. Let's take October 15. I'll come in October 15. I give an estimated date. I don't give a damn that if I'll come or not. But this is an estimated date. Okay. So employee is prepared that, okay, there is an estimation that he will come, but it is not guaranteed that he will come. That is leave of absence. For example, let's take an example, sabbatical leave. Okay. At that point of time in sabbatical leave, people are not aware that if their leave of absence is actually going to be for 3 months, 4 months, they have given the estimation as per the company benefit that you are entitled for sabbatical leave for 1 year. All right, there is no point of you are going to be laid off that sorry, laid off that period of time or something. But yeah, you have taken sabbatical leave, and it's okay, right? So you give an estimation that I'll come back after 2 months, 3 months, but you're not there. Okay, your leave can get extended and your loss of pay or all the benefits can get impacted based on the company policy. Okay, but there is no guarantee that you're coming back. Okay, your actual day of work would be determined after you come and inform that yes, I'll be there. All right. So when there is an estimation of coming, this falls under leave of absence. But when there is a certainty of coming back, it comes under time off. This is the basic interview question that you'll get whenever Workday interviews happens for leave of absence or time tracking. And similarly, when you are taking sessions, I am sure that you're gonna take some of the sessions in future. So better to give this kind of answer, right? Okay, all right. So this is basically the part. Okay. So first thing, we would definitely see functional area. Just open up item. All right. So the basic thing that we need to understand that if your organization is having implementing time off and leave of absence management tool in Workday, the first thing that they need to have is they need to first subscribe the Workday solution, and the functional area would be time off and leave. That needs to be enabled. Okay. That is the basic thing. All right. I know it's too basic, but yeah, I just give it like for my post, I provide this kind of information. So they need to have this particular functional area enabled, all right, which includes right now 33 domains. All right. So basically, you know that domains is basically gates. Okay. Basically, on a practical example, we say gates, and there are two keys. One is view key, and second one is your modify key, right? Those personalities who are having those particular keys in their hand, or we say the security permissions, I would say, they have. If they have the keys to these particular domains, or I say them as gate, okay, gates, they can open the gate or they can simply see through from that particular gate. So see through is basically view action, and open the gate is basically your modify action. All right. And in absence, there are a lot of business process, absence calendar, absence case event, assign work schedule, correct time off, request leave of absence, request time off, balance transfer, and update time of request. All right. We will go through all the best practices that we see in industry. Okay. In my training, I will tell you about. We would definitely talk about a lot of time of plans. Each day, we will talk about a different time of plan. Once we start begin with our training mainly. Today is like basically we are navigating and what are the things. Okay. From
Yeah.
tomorrow or day after tomorrow onwards, we would actually, I'll start training based on practical leave of absence and practical how it would work. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. So far, any questions you have, anything you want to ask?
No, so far so good.
Okay. Great. Awesome. All right. Okay. All right. So first, we would cover up the time of plan. Okay. What is a time of plan? How it looks like. All right. What is the basic thing about time of plan? Okay. So let's start with the first chapter of our course. Although we have covered a lot of chapters, but yeah, still let's start with the major thing, which is a time of plan. Okay. So quickly, I'll open any time of plan. So the task to open, 1 second.
You give
What
a space there.
happened?
You have to give a space there between time and all.
But yeah. So thank you. So first thing, let's open any given time of plan. And the first thing is that I would do is like vacation. Vacation is always an easy plan. All right. And so one of the easiest country to configure vacation is India. India is one of the easiest country to work on in terms of vacation. It is not like that over here. I'll open IND. Sick plan they have. IND vacation. Okay. So I think it's a very simple plan, what I can see. So what is a time of plan? And first, in order to create a time of plan is basically your benefit. Okay. Your HR or your benefits team, they create policy in terms of your employee benefit, and that is being configured in your system. Okay. In real environment, what they do, they connect with the consultant, they fill a workbook. All right, they do their consulting, like what kind of a plan they would have. Basically, a bible is filled by the consultant, that is called as absence workbook. Okay. They employ HR team and the Workday team consult each other in terms of what they want. We contradict their thought in terms of configuring that particular item in Workday. We talk about what are the things that we can do, what can we not do. They also come up with their ideas, and after that, they state their sign of that, yes, this is something that we want. So time of plan is basically the whole plan, the whole benefit plan. Okay. What are the things constitute for that particular benefit for the employee in terms of absence management? Okay. So time of plan is that. Inside time of plan, there is like a particular first part is that this particular name part, this is for the consultants like us, in order, like we are backend person, in order for us to verify what is there. And this is the display name, which the second constituent, which we see that display name, which is for employee, the employee security, what they see. And basically time of plan, whenever we see now, you will see these two categories fall all the time, like absence and payroll, because if you are using Workday payroll, so absence components would be transferred to internal payroll itself directly via mapping. Or if you are using external payroll such as EY or SuccessFactors or some other payroll vendors, all right, ADP for example, then you need to map your absence component over there via earnings or deductions. You're aware about earnings and deduction, correct?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. So absence is used in that area also. earnings and deductions. So absence components, all right, once a time off plan is created, their components is mapped to your earning or deduction. All right, we will cover it and later when we go to time offs. Okay. All right. Then there is another constituent which is known as track balance. Okay. The From the name itself, we can understand that what it is stating is about tracking the balance. Are we tracking the balance or not? Okay. So there are sometimes company gives some kind of leave, time off or benefits where we say that we are not going to track balance. The employee is responsible, and it's a privilege kind of a thing for like any emergency or any other stuff happens or natural calamity happens, then we will not be tracking balance. It is a privilege kind of a time off plan for the employee. For example, let's take an example, bereavement. Okay. The company do not track generally balance. They have the limitation that you can take, like for example, siblings or parents, like 5 or 7 days, or let's take more than 7 days also sometimes. Bereavement is one of the examples. The second thing is like emergency time off. Like for example, tomorrow I am having an operation. All right, I got an accident, first example, and I am admitted to the hospital. So at that point of time, it's an emergency. Okay, so let's take a emergency time off, and company is not tracking that balance. You are getting paid on that particular time off plan. Okay, so no tracking balance. Or you can say during the pandemic, I configured it by myself. When I was working for a customer, it was basically Corona happened. So pandemic time off. Again, I think it was configured worldwide. Pandemic time off.
Correct.
And right now in Ukraine and Russia happened, whatever happened. So we also created a time off which is known as migration time off. When the people of Russia was going to, all right, you got the point, where we are not tracking the balance in terms of that. Okay, but generally what happens, we do not uncheck this box, we check this box, but we make that time off in such a way that there is no balance entitlement. You are not entitled for any, like your bucket is not having any balance. You take as much you as want, the company is not going to interfere. Okay, but for the accountability and for the books to have something, okay, like audit issue, we click that. Okay, we click that. But if you don't click that, then there is no point of actually, you will not be able to track the balance from the configuration from the backend. But okay, that's the meaning. But we generally click that. Okay, but for employee experience, we hide that employee is not able to track that balance. We can so that is basically.
So when we seeing like from a user side, just show me how this track balance really shows up on the time off side.
Yeah, so from the user partner, if I go over here, like let's take any user, Logan. Okay. Logan McLean has changed. Oh my god. Why? All right. Okay, no worries. So from a user perspective, you see the track balance is how a user can see is that this particular thing, like whatever balances they are having, this is the tracking of their balances, whatever they have got in the beginning of the year, what they have accrued till years, time of taken, all right, everything. This is basically tracking. If I have unchecked this, so I also cannot see, they also cannot see, right? This would be like vanished. Whenever they are requesting, they can see the time off that yes, they are requesting from the user standpoint of view. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, thanks. It's good. Like we should have an interactive session like this. Okay. There were times when I was actually started teaching absence management. It was not that interactive. People was like, no, man, and I got a little bored. Okay. So I like interactive sessions.
If you don't mind, so how many years of work experience you have, and are you only absence expert? Like what all do you have worked just to?
So yeah, so I started my Workday career in 2015. Okay, I started with basic HCM first. All right. I was fortunate to work directly with a partner. Okay. I got certified first in HCM. And I was working in a department where I used to work for different clients. Like it was basically a support team first. Okay. Where I worked on HCM integrations, benefits, open enrollment, and break fix kind of a thing. Like AMS, you understand?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So like that. So I worked on HCM benefits, compensation, reporting. All right. And Workday payroll also, US payroll. All right. And I didn't like Workday payroll. Okay. Gradually, what happened? One of my consultants left the organization, and I thought to do this absence management certification. In 2016, I did absence management, and within that same year, I did time tracking certification also. So these are two modules I've been working since 2016 extensively.
And you're based, where are you based?
I'm based out of in India.
Okay.
Right. So I worked on this particular domains, was first a consultant, then got senior consultant role, then got architect role. So basically I am actually working as a SME of absence management and time tracking for Workday right now. Okay, so been covered a lot of absence management. Like I've done absence management for the entire world, I would say, like EMEA region, APJC region. Currently, I am the SME for APAC region, Asia Pacific. So Asia Pacific is one of the toughest countries in the world. If you have covered Asia Pacific, then you are good, because US is simple, bi-weekly. EMEA is like once in a year. Okay, the thing that comes into the mind, the trouble comes into mind when it goes to the finance things. I actually hop on a call every bi-weekly with the finance when they actually start updating their ledger accounts, and they have a lot of queries. Why this balance has come? Last period, this balance was closing balance was like that. We updated the books like that. Now what is there? So yeah. So right now I was working in a Workday partner. After a few years, I left Workday partner and I came in-house as a Workday, like for a customer I'm working in order to work for my people, so that I can know how an organization works in terms of an ERP system. So that's the point. People generally do not quit partners for their certifications and all, but I did that back in 2019, and after that I'm happy with the organization. In customers also, I've worked with different customers, and yeah, that's my story. Yeah. So I do absence management, HCM, and time tracking. Along with that, my base interest is in Workday reporting and Workday security. That's the thing I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. What you understand by a fiscal year in a financial organization is the debit and credit, the transaction of debit and credit taking place in that particular year. Okay.
Correct.
Basically the fiscal year. Similarly, in balance period is something, the transaction, just understand this statement, the transaction of crediting of balances and debiting of time of plot, debiting of balances and crediting of balances happening in a certain period of time, okay, is known as the balance period.
Can you repeat that? So you said transaction of crediting of?
Okay, one second. All right, I'll crediting and debiting of balances.
Yeah, but then you said something else. Then you said crediting of something different and debiting of something different.
I use the technical word accrual. All right. Let's remove that. Yeah, let's remove that.
No, I understand accruals. No, that's fine. I understand accruals. So you are saying
crediting of accrual and debiting of time off. Okay.
Okay.
Crediting of accrual and debiting of time off in a period of time. This is basically
I think now I understand. Because so I work in the US period, like bi-weekly payrolls mostly. And I understand that. So let me give you the scenario. So I have seen and I understand, like every period we accrue a balance.
Exactly.
That's like a credit, right? We are crediting. We are not using it now. We will use it later. So it's being credited, I think.
Absolutely.
And the debiting of time of whatever I have accrued so far, that's the time I can take while I'm applying for a vacation.
Exactly. Correct. Correct. So the transaction balance period is basically the whole period. Not, it can be for a month also. Okay. Transaction period like month also, or for a whole year also, fiscal year also. Okay. That's the point. Balance period. You got the right point that yes, you get in your company, like in the United States, you get bi-weekly, like every 2 weeks, you get some of the hours credited into your balance bucket. And sorry. And and it is possible, it may or may not be possible that you can use the same balance as debit in that particular period or next period also. We will use period a lot. Period terminology would be used. Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, it is quite sometimes it gets very confusing. What period, balance period schedule, period ended, period started, right? It will get confusion also. I got very confused when I started doing this training, but yeah, we'll cover that. So balance period is basically the date, right? So they generally, what happens, there are few examples I'll give you. Generally people do what, the total transaction period, they take it as YTD, same year, period end date. Okay. What it does, this means like from January 1st to 31st of December, that particular year. This is the transaction period. Generally, they do that. Current calendar year, starting date from January to end date 31st. This is the transaction period and this is the balance period. Okay. This is one type of balance period of like transaction period, what they say that. Okay. It doesn't mean that if you are in December and you are requesting a time off for next January, it is applicable. It will fall under the next calendar period. Okay. It is applicable and you are allowed to. Okay. This is the balance period. Okay. And in this balance period, people will get some of the balances. If they are entitled to get monthly, fine. If they're entitled to get bi-weekly, it's fine. But this is the whole fiscal period. You understand, you take it as a fiscal period for the time of plan transactions. Okay. It is possible people will have monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or we say semi or semi-yearly also. Okay. That is the part. How it is determined? If it is a monthly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly or whatsoever, it is determined by this particular item, which is known as the period schedule. Okay. Remember, whenever there is an interview with your company, if you're going in any company, the first, the base, the pillar of your absence management is first the balance period. You have to give, and you ought to give the balance period. And the second thing is determination of period schedule. Once these two items are done, you cannot edit the period schedule after you created a time of plan. You cannot remove it and add another period schedule. It is not there. You have to have inactivate the period schedule. Okay. Sorry. Apologies. You have to have inactivate the time of plan. You cannot inactivate the period schedule. Okay, once it is used. So period schedule. Okay. These first pillar is your balance period. Second is your period schedule. Okay. Period schedule defines your frequency of determining your periods, like what is going to be your month start date, what is going to be your month end date. Okay. If I talk about monthly period schedule, if I talk about bi-weekly, what is going to be a start of the period, basically the start date of your period schedule, and end date of period schedule. This is basically in bi-weekly. If it is weekly, then Sunday is your start date, Saturday is your end date, kind of a thing. So it is the period. Okay. So this is the concept.
Can you, would you mind clicking on that monthly thing once on a different tab? So I am used to seeing, so I have also built period schedules for a bi-weekly period. Can you, monthly I have never seen. Can you just show me that?
Yeah, sure. I was just actually going to elaborate. Okay. Monthly is waiting basically.
Okay. Last one.
Period start date is, let's take
this. One second. So Okay, Sunday -1. That's fine. I am actually pulling up my period schedule, the bi-weekly ones. I'm just comparing. So you did 1 to 131. That's your first period. Okay. So if you are doing monthly, it means you have straight 12
12.
periods, right?
Exactly. Correct. And if
Okay.
you have bi-weekly, then how many you will have?
26. We have 26.
Exactly. So yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
monthly is like 12. It will be divided like that. Okay, monthly
Hmm.
is that, weekly is 52, like that, 52, 53 kind of a thing. Okay, so
Yeah.
monthly starts with period started as first of the month, end of the month. Payroll payment date, I shouldn't be interfering in your part. It's basically the
Yeah.
payment date. And in time tracking, we see this. This is the gate open day. This is the gate close day, and if it is used in period. So basically, we will talk about period start date is as the first date, end date as the end of the date. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So I hope.
And I think, can you show me that as well? So we have bi-weekly and we accrue hours. We don't accrue days. So you had a day like a monthly schedule, but you accrue in days. Meaning, if you work one
Uh-huh.
like month, you will get some.
Certain days. Yes. So you need to define in your plan that what kind of unit of time you are defining. Okay, it is defined in the plan level. Okay,
Mhm.
plan is all right. So that's a good question. You connect. So once you have configured this now, first
Mhm.
base, second base, you have to add here what is even if in bi-weekly period people do accrue days. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
it
Depends
depends on the company policy now.
company policy,
you
right?
you want to accrue in days or hours, so you define over here.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's the part. Okay, so you
Yeah.
mention I can have hours also, like for a month you get uh, for a day is like 8 hours. So let's take an example, like if I completed 1 month of work, I'll get somewhere around 16 hours. Correct.
Mhm.
I can define it over here, but you need to define over here. Either you're going with days or you're going with hours. That's the key point,
Right.
right? Cool. Awesome. So remember that the 3 points, like in your interview also, any interview happens. So you will have to ask that if they ask you what are the main constituent of it. When I switched my first company, they asked me like what is the first constituent of a time of plan. What do you look when you start configuring a time of plan? That's the question. First thing
Mhm.
I would definitely, it was like the question was like in that you are a Workday consultant, you have a client, and they are implementing the time of plan.
Mhm.
Okay, what, how would you approach them? And I gave this interview in Salesforce, and they
Mhm.
asked me that question. Okay, so the first thing is that I was very young at that point of time, and I asked like I'll also see the requirement workbook and I'll start configuring. Okay, so I stated that, okay, which was not an appropriate answer. The first I would have said that I would ask them the first thing. I would observe the first thing: what is the balance period? What is the fiscal period? What period
Mhm.
schedule they have, and what
Yeah.
if they're accruing days or hours. The three important aspects, and the effective date of the time of plan. From which particular date they are going live with the time of plan. Okay,
Mhm.
so that would be my approach. Okay, so we covered we covered till now this area. Okay, I would say. Okay, we will go. So, are we good with this space, or we are getting too basic, or are you comfortable with that?
No, this is good to even discuss, so that's fine. I mean, I understand payroll piece very well, so I
Hmm.
think feel
So
like
I
it
will
was
not touch that. I will not touch that. We will
no,
see.
it's good to talk
We will
about.
touch only the ACRCs in your
No,
earnings. Are we?
good because sorry to cut you. It's good to talk about it because I am going in a global role now. I
Ah,
have done US payroll so far, so good to see the monthly schedules and like how the days accruals. Because I have only seen bi-weeklies periods and hourly accruals.
oh, nice. No worries. So definitely, we'll do a lot of things. I'll give you activities once by tomorrow. I'll complete this particular time of plan piece. Okay,
Yeah.
and tomorrow itself, I'll give you two tasks. of configuring. I'll not go, but to be very honest, don't get offended that I'll go by the book. I'll go by my rules. All right. I'll be very basic and I'll give you, I don't go presentations all the time. I don't do that. Like first go with the presentation, then go to the tenant. I don't do that. Okay. I do like directly tenant and directly show you the practicality. Okay. Bookish is something that you can do later on your time. Okay. You can read that. But the thing that we are majorly concerned about the practical, correct? So like that, every day I'll give you, like tomorrow onwards, we'll get 2 time of plans to be configured. Okay. In the call itself, I'll tell you what to do, what not to do, and where to verify. Okay. That's the part we'll do. And by the time also, we will discuss if you're going on a global role or something like that in your interviews, what's new in Workday also. Okay. In terms of these new plans, what are the new things has come up in Workday time tracking as well as in absence. A bonus, I'll give you that time tracking piece also. Okay. All right. 1 second, just let me go down.
If I can ask you one question, and so very basic, right? And you can cover that whenever you want, but just because a question came to my mind, I always am curious to know how so is the time off plan the first step, like a first box, and in that box, do we create time offs? So what's the difference between the two?
Time off plan and time off, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Time off. Okay. All right, I'll give you practice. You have a wallet, okay? You carry a wallet day to day in life, okay? And you have a lot of cards, okay?
Right.
All right. For example, you have a JP Morgan card, Wells Fargo credit card, okay? So your wallet is the time off plan, okay? Where you have all the cards inside are the accruals, okay? Correct? You have the accruals. When we do the ATM transaction, your account is getting debited from a balance, okay? The transaction which you do is known as time off. Okay. That's the thing. Time off plan is the time off. Time off is a part of a time off plan. Okay. We request time off. We do not request time off plan. Okay. Time off plan is the, like I would say, time off plan is the book inside, not a time off plan is a box. Inside that particular box, there are a couple of balls, different color balls, and you want to pick that ball. You're basically requesting a time off. Okay, that's the part. Okay, we do never request time off plan. We always request time off. Okay, time off plan has its characteristic constituents and its key members such as accrual, eligibility, and time off. Okay, time off is also a part. All right. So on a like Einstein level, on a bigger level, we can say that the mixture of accrual, okay, the mixture of accrual, time off plan with respect to the eligibility concluded and at a single entity is known as time off plan. Does that answer your question?
Can you repeat your last sentence?
All right. The mixture of accrual, all right, the total combination, I would say this would be a better, the combination of accrual, time off, accrual as credit, time off as debit, with targeting a population, via an eligibility. This entire combination is known as time off plan.
Okay.
Debiting, crediting, where it is happening, targeting a population who is doing that. Basically, time off plan.
Okay.
Woo! This is the first time I have given this kind of an answer. I always give this book and all this. Right? Yeah. Woo-hoo. Nice. I'm pretty much aware, because when I was doing my training, when my trainer used to train, he used to give train birth example in terms of explaining me an accrual. Yeah. All right. So I go by practical examples all the time. Okay. So I hope this is a satisfactory answer, and you will definitely get confused. Okay. This is the basic thing. I also got confused. Why time off? Why cannot we have time off? Why time off plan? Like that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So the moment in a time of plan, there are several yeah, Nishita.
Sorry, one more thing. Can you go back one screen?
Okay.
Just, yeah. So now if you scroll down, not the snapshot. So how many snapshots do you see? No, I just want, can you go to just the time of plan? I think you are on a snapshot.
This is the time of plan.
No, you're on the snapshot. You have to go back.
Yeah. This is the time of plan.
Okay, yes, you are on the right side. So all these, see, like you have just one snapshot, right? I see lot of snapshots, which means the changes that we did keep on, they have to start with one period, its beginning date. Right?
Yes.
So snapshots, if I have 4-5 snapshots, it's simply like a worker history, right? It's like a record of what was done in the past. And this is your
Exactly.
Okay.
You are referencing the same thing that you do in payroll also. Edit as of update as of a new snapshot. Like for example, in 2020 your earnings were like this. In 2021 you have modified the earnings like that. All right. So you have a record of in 2020 what you did. Till 2022 what a specific new date this kind of a transaction would happen. After 2021 a transaction would change. Right. For example, till 2021 we were getting monthly balance, okay, but in 2022 we will get the balances directly into our bucket depending on our hire date. Right, so a new snapshot would be created. Definitely it's a valid point, right? I was about to go at this point like 2-3 days after 2-3 days creating a time of plan that in 2020 this is the balance, in 2021 this is the balance, in 2020 this is the balance. So this is basically an audit purpose and having a snapshot that yes, this happened, this happened, this happened.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Nice. Okay. So let's go to the snapshot. It will open some of the things. So yeah, there are few tabs. This is the credit bucket. Accrual is credit. Time off is debit. And eligibility is who is the population. Okay. The first thing is that comes over here is the balance visibility. Like how the balance is visible. How the balance is visible, what balance is visible. So balance visibility is basically how an employee would be able to see the balances and what balances the employee would be seeing. So here you see there is a term used as eligible in balance period, balance as of date. All right. So eligible, if I am eligible in that particular balance period, like for this particular year, balance as of date, as today is 21st, what balance I have. So you can see over here as of that date what balance I have. Yeah, please go ahead.
So this is like if say, and I'm just taking bi-weekly as an example because I'm used to doing that. That's why I keep asking that question. So say the week is like 7/1 to 7/14, 2 weeks, one period. And if you're saying eligible in period based on as of date, so does this mean, and you said eligible in period. Okay, balance visibility. Okay, what does this mean, this thing?
Balance period is your this period, entire year period. All right. So for the year, as of that particular date, you are eligible for that period. So there, let me just edit it for you.
So does this mean that when a worker will go on their profile to see the balance, what's the balance? It will show the beginning period balance. Is that what it is?
No. As of date, like as of today, what the balance is, not the beginning period or end period.
Okay.
Not that. There are a few things I'll tell you. I'll just made it. Balance visibility is that few things. Eligible in balance period, which is the fiscal period. Eligible in period means your current bi-weekly period. For example, this from 21st to after 40, like the whole 14 days period. Okay, if you are eligible in that 14 days period, what balance you are having as of today, as of the date. Okay. There may be a difference. Like today you are eligible for this period. Tomorrow you are transferred to another country. Correct. So your time of plan is changed. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
If it is a balance period, like it will be based on the year fiscal part. Correct. But if it is a period part, so balance eligibility would always be looking at that period. Like bi-weekly period means the whole bi-weekly period, that 14 days. And as of that date, what balance you are having. Okay, that's the basic difference. It is basically looking at the entire eligibility for the entire year. It is looking at the eligibility for the specific choto moto time of plan. So the specific period. Correct.
Okay, so I think let me just rephrase. So the eligible and balance period, you are saying that's like the whole period, whole year, if that's the calendar year.
Correct. Correct.
And then eligible in period is only we're talking about, say, a bi-weekly period. So two weeks we are talking about.
Sorry. Yeah. Correct. Absolutely correct. Correct.
Okay.
And there is a third one, eligible in prior period or prior period, like this period or previous period. If you are eligible, like in monthly period, in your bi-weekly period schedule, this period, this 2 weeks or prior 2 weeks, if you are eligible, these two periods, if you are eligible, what balance you are having as of today. That's the meaning. All right. And never show balance click, no, you will not be able to see any balance. If you see click never show balance, employee will not be able to see these balances.
So your setup is based on balance period?
Yeah, my setup is on basically balance period. I set up like that. I generally do like that. Eligible in balance period as of today.
Would you mind showing me a worker, and I want to see like what does it show?
It is like that. Let's take this example. Okay.
So this thing, balance visibility, does it control?
See, this particular gentle Logan has eligible as of balance period. It is like that. It will not have that much difference in that.
Okay, so 1 second here on your screen, and which plan we are talking about?
HYD vacation.
Okay. So this beginning year balance 120 and beginning period balance is 160. So from that section where you chose eligible in balance period, which one is that driving here?
No, so beginning year balance is for this particular year. What was the start balance? Okay.
Right.
This year, right? This is basically current calendar year YTD. Okay. This particular year, what balance on the 1st January you have? That is the beginning year balance. Beginning period balance is basically what balance you have on the 1st day of May. Okay. Maybe you have got some balances last month. Okay. The ending period balance, like for example, let's see that. Okay. In a detailed way. Okay, let's see. This is the beginning year balance. Okay. You see, beginning year, like in January, I was having 120 days. I got some credit. Okay. Yeah. Which is 10 days. What is my ending balance? Like what is the, by the end of that particular month, I have 130. Okay. Beginning year balance did not change. Beginning years will remain the same. That 120 was the first balance that you got in this year. Beginning period balance got changed. You see 130.
Because it's adding that 10 that you have accrued.
Exactly. What was the ending balance has become the beginning period. Like as of 1st of February, what is my first balance? Beginning period. That is 130. I got again a 10 balance. Okay. 10 days accrued. It becomes 140. May, the first day of May, I have how much? 140 beginning period balance. Okay, if it is a bi-weekly, it will be like that. Okay, whatever dates. Okay, currently it is monthly, that's why it is like that. 10 days, 150. All right, it will not change it will not change in terms of perspective of an employee. It will be like the same. There will not be any difference in terms of that. Okay, in terms of employee visibility part. Okay, it's just a matter of fact that if he is eligible or not, eligible for the period alert. And the driving force for this is, the basic driving force is the eligibility. This particular piece is the major part. Okay, eligibility. Here right now they have only mentioned the country. Okay, but we would definitely mention a lot of things like period start. If a worker is based out of United Kingdom based on period end date, or period start date and mid period terminated, like that.
Yeah, that portion I don't understand very well.
Yeah, exactly. That is the thing that I'll explain you very well. Okay, that's the important part. All right. This is basically what it is. Basically, I am eligible in the period. I am eligible in the first of. Let's take an example. I am eligible in the first day of the month. Okay. However, I got terminated on 10th day of this particular month. Okay. Though I am eligible now. But when the system will check that worker is eligible at the period end date, there I will not be there because I'm terminated. Correct?
Correct.
That's the reason we create that kind of a thing. Somebody is eligible on the start of the period should get some of proration balance or some of the balances. Correct?
Right.
If the system will only check by the end of the period, then for those employees who got terminated mid of the month or starting of the month, we will not be able to do justice in terms of giving the balances. Correct? But the system will check the end of the day, the person will not be there. Correct? Like that. All right. So lot of discussion. I think we have gone far from our time. All right. So I think let's connect tomorrow at the same time, and we'll cover this portion. Then we'll create eligibility. All right. Tomorrow we'll start doing stuff. Today we are just navigating and those steps, but tomorrow we'll do stuff, configuration. All right. I'll be doing the configuration, and after that you will be creating the same kind of a time of plan for your homework. Okay.
Yeah. Can you just show me one more thing before you leave, Sachin? Like you showed me that now if you change this balance eligible in period, in balance period, you change it to the other thing eligible in period only.
No, it doesn't. It does not change anything. It does not change anything in terms of period. It is like the visibility of the work. If I say like that, whatever, if he is eligible for that particular period, this particular item will not change. The balances will not change. It will be intact because it is covered by eligibility. All right. And the second thing, whatever accruals they are getting, whatever balance credit or debit they are getting, it will not change. It will remain the intact. Okay. Like for example, what I would say, we do not have any employee in this particular system, but let's take an example like I am in a time of plan. Okay. And they have the fiscal period is like that. I am eligible in this fiscal period. Okay. In the mid month, I got transfer. Okay, in the mid month I got transfer. Okay, so when I see my time of plan, okay, if it is based on eligible based on period, I will not be able to see my time of plan over. I will not be able to see my previous balances. All right, in this particular report. One second. Okay, in this particular report, or if I am being rehired also. Okay, like I got terminated and I got rehired. Okay, if I am okay, like this is my example only. If my time of plan is based on periods, okay, based on periods, okay, in the month of April I got terminated, okay, and I rejoined the company in the month of August. Okay, my beginning year balance, carryover balance, and all those particular items will be taken as 000. Okay. But if it has been like based on eligible in the balance period, my previous balance would also be have some accounting over here. Like I got beginning year balance as something, carryover if I had something, or it is there, and other stuff like what I have approved, what I have not approved. Okay, but it does not have any influence in terms of number game. Okay, it is just seeing the balances. Okay, number manipulation will not be over here. There is no number manipulation because it is not governed by over here. The number value manipulation and the other stuff are governed from this area, approval and timeout. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is not confusing. This is like seeing the balances for the employee. Okay. How different modes of observing a balance for the employee. It does not change. It will remain like the same. If you do never show balance, employee will not be able to see balance. And if you click on this, it will hide everything from the worker, even if the manager or us time tracking or absence administrator will not be able to see anything.
Okay.
All right, let's connect tomorrow, and we'll discuss more on our journey for this particular.
Sure, perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.